All right, we got the party at the Pen. This is a show in Boise, Idaho. Luke from Chop Merchandise puts the show on. He used to live here in Salt Lake, so this one's fun, kind of close to home. We got Katie's Sportster in there. Got my Born Free 9 Flathead and the green Shovelhead all loaded up, ready to roll. About a 5-hour drive for us. We got the bikes in, gave them a little wipe down, and went and hung out. This is a 2-day show. It's Saturday and Sunday. Of course, I didn't record anything on Saturday because it was, there was a ton of people hanging out, talking, and I just wanted to check everything out. And then, of course, it started raining on Sunday, and so it looks a little gloomy and kind of low attendance, but I assure you Saturday was popping off. There's no shortage of cool bikes at this show. It's kind of neat because all of the bikes are pre-picked. You got to submit your bike for the show, and then everybody who rides to the show just has to park outside the prison walls. So it kind of makes it nice because it's just all choppers, the whole thing. There's nothing but choppers in the whole place. So it's kind of neat to have it a little segregated like that. Cool thing about this show is that it's really close to downtown Boise. So at night there's plenty of good restaurants to go to. Todd Asen from Small City Cycles has a bunch of bars in town, so everybody's hanging out at those. If you get tired of hanging out at the show and you want to go get lunch, you can pop downtown. It's literally like 5-minute drive, and go get some good food and come back. It's kind of nice that way. This is my friend Peter's bike. He's got a bunch of Pangea gear on there. Grip, shift knob, gas cap, brake gear setup. He rode this bike out last year and this year from Oregon to the show. That's one neat thing. There's tons of friends that rode their bikes out. There's people from all over the place who rode to the show. I talked to one guy that rode from Monterrey, Mexico, and some of the guys left their packs on. Bunch of dudes from Seattle area. Obviously, lots of Salt Lake guys rode up. There's people from all over the place. So neat to see everybody's stuff and see that a lot of the bikes were, actually getting used and going down the road. So that was neat. I'm not sure whose bike this is, but it had a lot of really cool stuff on it. That tail light and fender strut setup was neat. There's little mini pegs that are shortened. Yeah, it was cool. This Bikers Against Racism sticker was cool. Glad to know not everybody's a bootlicking racist that's into choppers. Little timer advance mechanism was cool. Yeah, just a lot of neat details on that thing. Max ended up giving the White's Boots award to this kid. This thing was sweet. It had a lot of really neat details on it. He's a young kid, just seemed jazzed to be there, and just seemed like he had a good attitude. It was cool to check the details out on that thing. Here is Hawk's bike. Hawk has a shop called Vintage Technologies up in Montana. Super crazy generator shovel drag bike. Check the supercharger with the L-carb on there. Magneto, Nest style front end, narrowed Hallcraft hubs front and rear, exposed rockers, super short exhaust. I don't know what those cylinders are, but they look awesome. Molded chains, only the thing a madman could come up with. Knuckle Alley. They almost had it all knuckles, but they slipped a panhead in there. But yeah, got a bunch of crazy bikes going on in here. Here is, I think it was a 40. Jeff Layton built this bike and Born Free gave it away. And the guy who won this thing has just been riding the wheels off of it. This thing has gone to so many shows. The guy's really been enjoying it. It's rad to see it out on the road, getting used. this bike, local Boise resident. It's got a bunch of neat stuff on it. Little Pangea air cleaner, what up? Yeah, it's got some cool like stamping on the rocker boxes. The shifter's got a neat little like kind of reverse deal on it. But yeah, it's a cool bike. Here's Jay Keel's Panhead. Jay's a Salt Lake guy. He's got Pangea narrowed wide glide trees on there. Jay owns a screen printing shop called Under Pressure. He's a really killer screen printer. He does a lot of the Pangea gear, printing and embroidery. So if you need anything done, hit him up. I'm gonna pre-apologize for the poor audio quality on Seth's interview coming up here. I've got to work on getting a better microphone set up, so bear with me on that. All right, this is Seth from Red Clouds Collective. We've got his pre-unit swing arm bike that him and his brother built. So yeah, just tell me a little bit about it.
We were going for a pretty symmetrical kind of look from overhead, and these carbs kind of set us off on the mirror image dual monoblock 389 and 689. I knew they were out there in the world and just kind of wanted to bring that to life, and was just always obsessed with these Webco float caps, and I just fell in love with them, man. So I had to utilize that. That kind of set the tone for the exhaust, and then we found this Morgo Big Bore 750 kit. Kind of just love the shape, how it kind of works with the cylinder head, and kind of just took that with the exhaust, and I guess from there that whole like theme carried through from front to back. And this is like an oil feed that is super rare. This dude Randy Cycles made that back in the 60s, and there's like, I don't know, a buddy had one sitting on the shelf. It was per unit kind of guy, and he wouldn't sell it to me, but sure enough found one months later, and I knew I needed one for this build because that shape was just so.
It looks so good, like with the.
Dude, I love it. So we carried through when we found that was kind of like the tone to even take into like this shape right here. If we didn't find that, it would kind of just not have worked.
Yeah, it wouldn't have like flown through as smooth.
And we did that, like you'll even see the little bracket that holds the fender on.
Oh yeah.
It just kind of like carried that through in super subtle ways, not over the top. Just like, it's just nice to have some little theme to work through life, because it helps make decisions a lot easier.
Yeah, it's cool though that you have that kind of subtle theme, but it's not a theme bike, you know, where some people get so like, oh, I'm going to do the hexagon bike or whatever, and it just gets blasted into everything, but it's a good balance. Yeah.
So it works into pink, it works into just whatever, but it helps. it's like when you get into a point where you're like, what do we do to make this flow? It just allows for that to kind of just carry.
Yeah.
And then there's other things that are on here that are just like sought after parts, you know, from obviously finding the sites to digging it. Couldn't be more stoked about that. But he's a local guy in Portland, or he lives right outside of Portland. Over the last couple of years, I became friends with him. And as soon as I found out we were building the bike with Born Free, he was the first person I called.
Nice.
I was just like, dude, we got this thing. I can't tell you about it yet, but I need you to pay me.
Hell yeah.
He was on board 100%.
Nice.
And then, you know, there's just weird things like, you know, lights I've just had kicking around for years from swap meets.
It's got that same kind of detail there. Like, yeah, that's cool.
And this little bucket came off of some, you know, probably 1930s reverse light or something.
Yeah.
Off a Packer Hudson, who knows what. And this lens was from a different little light. So kind of just like shaved that lens down to fit this bucket.
Oh, crazy.
And dude, I just loved how that side and
that is neat.
you just never see that, so it was kind of cool to carry that through.
Yeah.
And then on the front, as far as it goes, like these wheels, it's like high crust wheel, and I believe it was formerly for 1953 and 54 or something like that. And then obviously you can see dust ups. But just the hub alone was like a super sought after.
Those are really cool.
So it's just those little details, man.
Well, thanks for showing us and talking to me about it.
Oh, I'm just happy to be here at prison, showing off like so many other updates. Like, it's awesome.
Well, thank you. This is Axel's bike. He trucked this thing all the way out from North Carolina for the show. It's got Nathan Sykes paint. It's got this really neat primary cover, turquoise shift knob, custom clutch pedal. It's got a lot of neat little stuff on there.
Every single day, through the pain.
Upstairs they do a bunch of tattooing. They've got a flash sheet that you can pick some different, you know, pre-done tattoo designs off of. Here's the gallows in here. They pull the floor out from under you and tighten that hangman's noose. Here are some of the heavy hitters in Boise. Here's Luke Morris's panhead, Weston Kiesel's panhead, and pretty boy Todd Ason's knucklehead. This was the Best in Show at Born Free a few weeks back.
My video,
Here's the latest and greatest from Gary Royal of Beware Choppers. He's got the Carlini paint. He's going to be riding this thing up to the Pacific Northwest on Monday and putting some mileage on this thing. Here's Mr. Cool Ice. You saw that in my last Born Free video.
How are you? How are you?
All my dreams are set in stone. All my goals made into gold. But I've watched them fall time and time again until I go blind. And I've watched them decrease the light. And I've watched them.
Here's Tony Medine's new bike. It's got the engraved Playboy air cleaner. It has a really neat little mold job on the axle plates. I thought it was cool. This little, it's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's got that little pointed axle plate molding. I thought that was neat. Here's Vinny's new bike. Vinny's from Salt Lake City. He's a younger kid who's been into choppers for a minute now. He's doing it right on this one. Got it cleaned up, got some chrome and nice paint on it. And it's neat to see his bikes progressing, and the thing looks like it's a blast to ride. Ready to rip. Here's Jeff Montgomery's Night Clubbin'. This is one of my personal favorites. This thing is awesome. It's crazy paint job. Everything on this bike is crazy. He built this for Born Free, I think 3 years ago, and it still looks great. He's been riding it quite a bit. I don't know, this thing is just bad. It's got details everywhere on this thing. And Jeff's a killer engine builder, and knows how to meld show and go. He's got just trick stuff everywhere. I really liked the molding on the seat yoke on this bike. This little just subtle peak is such a nice detail. Really nice paint job on this bike. All the molding was really slick. Here's Chris Cobo's new Panhead. They just finished this thing last week for the Virginia City show. It's got a bunch of neat details on it. Chris lives just outside of Boise, and it's running the Pangea grips. I think it's got a Pangea seat hinge on this thing. I want to say that Matt Whitlock from Wrecked Metals put the motor together on it, but don't quote me on that. Here is Hawks Contraption. I can't remember what the name of this thing was. It's got a 6,000 over front end. The motor is insane on this. It's got ball bearing, everything. Basically, hardly any oil. I guess you just dump a little oil in the crankcase and that's it. Open rockers, open kicker, gear setup. It's got this arm on top that I think sort of runs the clutch, but it's got like an automatic clutch on it. Wild machine.
I'm in bliss and I'm in agony. What did you do to me? Live and learn, losing time in a bad way. Hold me close. What a time!
Green me, loving, purple you, in timeless, spaceless, formless, forever and ever.
Alright, the latest out of Oakland's finest, 4Q conditioning. This thing is bad. Got the cobweb paint job, molded country bar. What do we have here? STD heads? Super E carburetor? Oh my god. Jeff and Dennis are not going to be able to sleep tonight. Heaven forbid we got some high performance parts on there. Got the paint matched drum. Yeah, this thing's awesome. I'm loving it. It's got the narrowed wide glide trees. I think Matt Whitlock did those. Owl grips. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's got the matching shift knob and keychain. Very cool bike. I really dig this thing. Kind of a mix of show and go, as they say. Here's Nathan Sykes' newest bike. It's got the insane paint job as expected. Nailed it on the old looks. Cracked, molded, candied, dished paint job. Got the Lee pedal, owl grips. Really cool. I think Dayton made that bird deflector. This thing's gotta be one of the craziest bikes there. This is like a Ronald McDonald on meth themed bike. No stone left unturned on this thing. Crazy taillight, crazy seat. The paint job's insane. It's cool how, it's got the sort of hammered tone on everything. The shift knob is crazy. The shift arm looks like some wild snake thing. Really crazy. Awesome fab work on that thing. As you can tell, there's just bikes for days here. All sorts of choppers going on, every which way. This drag bike was really cool. Tom Jones out of Washington built this thing. I think he said it's over 100 cubic inch and makes over 100 horsepower. Pretty rowdy bike. They've been doing a bunch of drag racing and beach racing with it. Dual linker. He fired it up. The thing was rowdy sounding. Definitely gets after it. So that pretty much wraps it up. Had a blast. Got to see a bunch of friends. Eat some great dinner downtown. Had a really good time. If you didn't make it out, you should try to hit it up next year. It's always a good time. And a nice way to see a new place, you know. I know a lot of people probably haven't been to Boise, Idaho, and this gives you a chance to get out of your comfort zone and hang out with some new people.